A week ago, the best motocross riders in their world were all a little bit nervous. Not sure where they'd stack up at the season opener, but now they know. Ken Roczen and Joey Savacci dominated the day in Northern California. The question is, can the competition rebound and get them back in Southern California at Glen Helen?
For the riders of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship, the hills of Glen Helen offer a singular challenge in their quest for victory.
They've got about 5 mechanics working so hard right now. Jeremy's been standing there with his fingers crossed.
How did he hold on to that?
America's premier motocross championship is set to get underway from Southern California.
Southern California is the mecca of motocross. And boy, do we have a big race for you today. The FMF Glen Helen National Round 2 of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship, sanctioned by AMA Pro Racing. Glen Helen Raceway, an unbelievable track. I like to say it's a 11 on a scale of 1 to 10. Jason Wygant, Grant Langston here in the booth. Georgia Lindsay will be down on the track patrolling things. The track is crazy, and so are some of the things that have already happened in this championship just 1 week in. Joey Savacci, a surprise winner last week in the 250 class. First time he ever swept the 2 motos and leaves the race. See that red plate in his hand as a points leader with a huge gap over the rest of the field, who was very inconsistent. And Ken Roczen dominated the 450 division over defending champion Ryan Dungey. Here are some other top stories coming into this one. Actually, highlights from our first 250 moto a little bit earlier today, about 2 hours ago. 403. This is Tristan Charbonneau, a rookie, got out to the lead early, but here comes 26 of Alex Martin wheeling his way to the lead, Grant.
Well, he looked like he got shot out of a cannon. Just got the whole shot there. Well, didn't get the whole shot, but stormed his way through, passing his brother, 2-time champion, set his sights and started checking out. Christian Craig didn't see what happened, but went down hard. Rumored to have a broken tibia fibula. Not a great situation.
Late in the race, Alex Martin had a huge gap, but here comes a 17 of Cooper Webb. He goes to the inside of his teammate and manages to take the lead away. Jumping that jump from the inside wasn't easy, but it paid off for Webb, who logged the fastest lap of the race on the next to last lap. This guy is riding with a broken wrist. You cannot tell because he wins the moto. Alex Martin finishes up second, and shout out to the rookie, Austin Forkner, here in the 214. Second professional race, 3rd place.
Very impressive.
Here are your results. Jeremy Martin, still a so-so start to the season for your defending champion on the number 1. And there's the rest of the top 10. We're ready for moto number 2. Georgia Lindsay is at the GoPro starting gate. Joey Savacci, your points leader, 9th in moto 1.
Joey Savacci on the start line of the second 250 moto. We came off a 1-1 win last weekend in Hangtown. 9th in that first moto. Is this track a tough one for you, or what's your thoughts?
Yeah, like you said, it's a difficult track, but just didn't get a good start, and I didn't execute. So out here for Moto 2, thankfully for me, we have 2 motos in a day, and just got to ride like myself. Didn't ride like myself that first moto, didn't get a good start, and I did everything I shouldn't have done. So out here for Moto 2, going to try to get some redemption and hopefully be upright battling.
Kawasaki's Joey Savacci drew first blood at Hangtown.
Joey Savacci's going to do it the right way. He goes 1-1 at Hangtown.
Yamaha riders Jeremy Martin and Cooper Webb.
Cooper Webb, fighter, not giving up, still trying to go after his teammate.
And Honda's Jordan Smith lead a field of hopefuls to the starting gate for 250 Moto 2.
About 4 minutes from the gate drop in the second 250 race of the day, we will see if Cooper Webb can complete the deal. He won the first moto, but it's all about being consistent in motocross, and it's very difficult to do that on a rough track like this. Here's a Kawasaki track map.
Well, here we are, Glen Helen, longest, fastest start straight, past the Fram Mechanics area, into the first big Talladega bowl turn. Hopefully get the whole shot across that white line, drop down the middle part of the track. Now you go back up the hill, up the Fly Racing Western Power Sports hill, turn, and then here, drop down, hard on the throttle, and then hard on the brakes. Under the Lucas Oil Bridge, and then this corner, very important to get the drive up the hill, because it's a long hill, and especially with these 250 motorcycles, if you don't get the drive, it's going to hurt you big time. Switch at the top of the hill, back down, hard on the brakes again. Then here, we start going back into the canyon. A little bit different terrain, a little rockier, a little less sand over that Lucas Oil step up. And then this section here, just as you can see, up and down and up and down. And we've seen the guys, Jason, really working the lines, trying to figure out, where can you make every single hundredth or tenth of a second. But now we come up to basically my favorite section. This corner is now a kind of a hip jump, more of a sweeper, and then third, fourth, fifth gear even at 70 miles an hour. These guys have to roll off on a 180-foot triple step up. Absolutely incredible to watch in person. Then step back down into this section. And these tight sections here, a lot of ruts, really deep, very critical to get through clean. Make this left, go to your Lucas Oil finish line jump. We're not done with the lap yet. These next three straightaways, this one here, the next one, the following one, very technical. We've seen a lot of passing, a lot of mistakes, inside, outside. What do you do? How do you handle it? That's a lap yet, Glen Helen.
And now almost 2 minutes away from the moto. Let's break this track down a little bit further with the folks from Lit Pro who have some onboard data.
I love this stuff, man. I like getting technical. Look at this. Savachi, our points leader with the red background, and Austin Faulkner from the first moto. Look at the difference in the time. Faulkner, half a second just in that one section. Look at the gap, 0.7, 0.8. Look at that, 30 miles an hour. I know it doesn't seem a big deal, 1.5 miles an hour. That's huge at motocross. And watch that gap, starts increasing again. So by the time they get out of these twisty windies, as I like to call it, 0.9 Faulkner gain through there. And look at them everywhere, just a little more on mile an hour high.
Yeah.
Just whether it's a couple tenths or whatever. But let's get our KTM
Wow. Yep.
keys to the moto. Hills are important, especially on 250s. It's all about power and get the drive out of the corner. It's a brutal track. Glen Helen is very, very tough, and we've seen it already claim a few victims. So try avoid that. And then afternoon shadows. That's one thing we don't talk about a whole lot. But here at Glen Helen, you're going up and down these hills. So depending on which direction you're facing, you get these nasty shadows. And when these jumps have ruts and holes on the face, they become extra technical to get through the rhythm sections.
Only going to be rougher here in the second set of motos. So Cooper Webb on the 17. He's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8 bikes from the inside. He's going to try to make it happen here in moto number 2. But there were some challengers.
He's by that Blue Crew section right there.
All the Yamaha Star Racing Yamaha riders, 4 of them in the top 5 in the first moto. The Fly Racing 30-second card is up. Mechanics start to move away. Now it's man against man on the starting line.
Man, Faulkner's a brave man. He's in between, I think, 3 Yamahas on the left and 3 on the right. You can see him about 10 gates down, maybe 12 you see next to the 1 and 17. But look on the other side. It's just blue and blue. So, wow, this is going to be very interesting. Just keep an eye on this section right there, because put it this way, it's going to be very interesting.
Well, when the guys had the good gate picks, those are the ones they picked. Let's see how it turns out. And the Yamaha's rocketing out front again, but watch that 13 on the inside. Jesse Nelson, no. Jeremy Martin going to lead them into the first turn. Can he hold on for the whole shot? Here comes the stripe. He's got it. Jerry Martin into the lead. Right behind him, Jordan Smith on the 39. Nice rebound from Smith, who had a tough crash in the first moto. They didn't even know if he'd be out there. Does get passed over by Nelson, who almost tangled with Martin. Martin still in the lead. Nelson right behind him. Smith fighting it out.
A lot of the top guys from the first moto near the front. Look at that, Faulkner now up in the 3rd place. Just behind them, a couple spots, you see the 17 of Cooper Webb. So all the heavy hit, I shouldn't say all, but pretty much, there's Savachi, better start for him. Let's see what he can do with a decent start. Nelson just chopping off the 214 at the top of the hill.
Faulkner's ready to go, man. He wants to try to get around, get in a second. Then you have Smith on that red Geico Honda. Then Alex Martin right behind them. It's the Troy Lee Designs GoPro KTM of Nelson. who was up front in the second moto a week ago, was able to hold the lead for the majority of the race, but once they got to him, made a couple of mistakes and ended up finishing 6th, though he wants better than that right now. He has Forkner, the rookie, right behind him. Forkner's so spectacular. 2nd professional race, 3rd in our first moto earlier today. Jeremy Martin, your defending series champ, out front. First time we've really seen him lead this year.
Well, now you've got a question. Now that he's got the lead, will he lose it or will something happen? Because we're so used to saying he comes through, takes the lead, that's all she wrote. Now he's got the lead. He hasn't shown us that out-and-out raw speed where he has dominated like in races in the past.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of talent behind him. Some real youngsters, some seasoned veterans, you know, all of the above.
Martin Davalos of the Rockstar Husqvarna, the red gear, fly racing gear on the white Husqvarna, also in this hunt. But there's Alex Martin in blue. He's the one that led the majority of Moto 1, and here's the 17 of Cooper Webb, who won the first Moto. So Webb gonna have to try to do it from 8th.
Yeah, 8th place this early in the race. The nice thing is they're still pretty bunched up. I mean, he's in 8th place, but he's 7 seconds down. The problem is when you're in 8th place halfway through the moto and you're 28 seconds down, then, you know, the outcome doesn't look that bright. But
made a pass here on Shane McElrath on the number 30, KTM.
Still using that inside and still getting through there. Look at this. If anyone makes a bobble, he's going to make another position. So Webb kind of taken off where he left that first moto, which was, he really was on fire.
Yeah, late in that race, man,
Look at the mud already.
Yeah, jeez.
The opening laps, they have to throw moisture down on the track because we're in the mid-80s. It's hot. It's Glen Helen. You got to keep the dust down. Georgia, I heard you got an update for us.
Yes, it was an unfortunate day so far for the Geico Honda guys in the first moto. Christian Craig, he actually landed on his teammate Jordan Smith. Jordan had a sore back, but that was all. And really sadly, it looked like Christian Craig had broken his tibia and fibia and went to hospital. We'll get an update with the exact injury, but that's right now, that's what Mike LaRocco, the team manager, told us.
Oh, man. Tough day for Christian Craig. Hope he's okay, at least long-term, if that does turn out to be a broken leg. As for Smith, what a rebound. The guy is running 4th despite getting landed on by his teammate in that first moto. And by the way, obviously that's incidental. Yeah. If you're wondering how could 2 teammates land on each other, it was just the typical chaos you get on the first lap of these things. Jesse Nelson keeping Jeremy Martin in sight.
Jesse, kind of a kid that's, you know, you could call him a local. He's from Central California, but, you know, being with Troy Lee Design's team, KTM, they do a lot of testing and training out here, so he's very familiar with this place. A lot of the guys actually live, you know, they drive to this race, they sleep in their own bed, they don't have to stay in a hotel. This means you have to single it. You basically, that's what they now call that flag that you see in the top left, which looks like a red triangle on a white flag, 2 of them. That is what we call now the wheels on the ground flag, which means there's a rider down in a vulnerable position, and we can't afford to have guys flying through the air and have a situation where someone gets landed on. So that's why you see the guys hit the brakes and having to roll everything.
Reese on the 92 is the rider down right now, crashed with a Tyler Endicott. If those guys are okay. Things starting to tighten up with this 5-pack. Jeremy Martin leading, then Nelson, then Forkner, then this rider, Jordan Smith of the Geico Honda. Right behind him, Alex Martin and Cooper Webb.
So interesting to see now, you got Alex Martin in 5th, who was just so strong in the first moto. Just lost it at the tail end of it. He was so clean. And now in this second moto, without the start, you can barely read his front number plate. But he's in a position where if he can make a few spots, as I say that, the guy he has to beat for the overall is now breathing down his neck. But like you said, Jason, plenty of time this moto, and not to mention everyone is just getting tighter and tighter.
Yeah, they are all over each other. Alex Martin and Cooper Webb, the 2 teammates in the Yamalupe Star Racing Yamahas, but right in front of them is Jordan Smith. Right in front of him is Austin Forkner. Jeremy Martin in the lead, trying to get away. He's got 2 seconds now on second place, Jesse Nelson, and totally different lines coming in and out of these corners for Webb and Alex Martin.
Yeah, you can see the guys, look at them leaning back, trying to get the power to the ground. It doesn't matter if the front wheel's up in the air, as long as you're not having to roll off the throttle, slip the clutch, and the rear wheel's driving, because you know that gives you the most power. And then this corner here, look at these guys, hard on the gas. A lot of body English, a lot of, you know, trying to get the wheels on the ground, do everything they can. to drive the...
Whoa, Alex!
Around the outside.
Barely, almost around the track, almost around the fence. Alex just able to hold on and doesn't even lose any ground to Jordan Smith. In fact, he's going to bounce his way to the inside. Oh, that rut is almost gone. Could barely even get the bike through there.
And you know what's crazy to see is in the first moto, we're talking about how the outside line worked. But and the reason I say crazy is because once in the second moto, the outside line becomes so used, everyone says that's the line, it becomes blown out. Then they go back to the inside and resort to that. So there's nothing worse as a rider to be told, hey, the outside's working, and you go to the outside and then get passed at the inside, which is probably going to happen later in this moto.
Well, that was a big story as we still have the wheels on the ground flag over this jump. Big story in the first moto was the lines changing. Cooper Webb adapted best and ended up winning that race, getting past Alex Martin. Now these two are battling in 5th and 6th. Jordan Smith right in front of them. And behind them is Aaron Plessinger, Savaji 8th, Mitchell Harrison, another Yamaha Star Racing Yamaha rider, a rookie, is 9th. Davalos back to 10th.
I think this might be a day Savaji wishes he could forget. The pace has been okay, but as what he showed us last week, it's, you know, in my opinion, I would have to say disappointing. Even with or without the starts, you know, if you're in the top 10, you can push right now and get near the front. So something not quite right with Savaji this week. Maybe the pressure, like we talk about, that red background can become very, very heavy for young riders.
Jordan Smith actually pulling away a bit now from Martin and Webb. He's all alone in 4th place. Had some drama earlier in the 450 class. This bike of Ken Roczen looked to have the win wrapped up until he had mechanical problems and he dropped to 4th. We'll have more on that after this. Cross. Catch the bug. That's the challenge. Tanner Faust in that Volkswagen Bug, dominating last time out. Now, we'll have a 450 race coming up in the next hour here on NBCSN. Ken Roczen in the first moto earlier today had the win apparently on lock until his front suspension broke. See how low the front is riding on the bike, and he cannot jump the jumps. Gave up a lot of time. Here's Ryan Dungey, and the number 1 would get around him to steal the moto victory. Even Dungey admitted he got a gift there. So what happened to Roczen's bike? Let's send it to Georgia with the team manager of his squad, Kyle Bentley.
Now, it was an unfortunate first moto for Ken Roczen. Kyle Bentley, you are the team manager of the RCH, Jimmy John's Soaring Eagle Suzuki. What happened with Kenny? We couldn't quite tell. We were looking, it looked like the front forks, but can you give us an update?
Yeah, it's an unfortunate error on the part of the team. We lost a $7 off-the-shelf fitting for the forks. Nothing to do with KYB, nothing to do with anything. We had a 15-second lead, and we're gonna eat this one on the team's behalf. So we're get out there second moto, and we're gonna win this one.
Thanks for the update.
Wow, that you can tell is a dejected team manager. He is gutted. That is so frustrating in motocross. These guys spend so much time, money, and effort to make these machines, you know, indestructible and able to take their riders to a victory. So, like you said, a $7 part. I mean, you know the kind of money goes into racing. It's so frustrating, so gut-wrenching. But you almost feel like he said, I think he knows that Roczen's so bitter that he's going to come back and win that second moto. You could tell. Event points at the top of the screen.
Yeah, back to our 250 class. Jeremy Martin, if he can hold on and win this moto, and all the positions do not change, and we're not even halfway through it, so they could. But if they don't, Jeremy Martin would end up your overall winner today when we combine the first and second motos. And we're busy in the first moto saying it's kind of a subpar start to the season for him. Well, this could turn things around in a hurry if he holds on and wins this one.
Look behind him. Faulkner's. Wow. Faulkner is 1 point behind, for the overall for the day, but 2 seconds on the track. So that could change very quickly. Look at this.
Well, Cooper Webb is the rider that won the first moto. If he can make a few passes here, these are worth big points. They're 2 points per position if he makes the pass. That's championship points in the series, and that ultimately is what decides the overall for the day. So right now, Jeremy Martin would have the moto win and the overall win, but if Cooper Webb can make some moves, he'll flip it. If he makes this pass, actually, all he's got to do is one. He would tie Jeremy Martin on points. Martin would still win with the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So Webb needs to make 2 passes to try to steal the overall win today. First rider on his list, his teammate Alex Martin. That is the older brother of Jeremy. Yes, the Martin brothers are really strong at the beginning of this season.
I know most of our fans at home do know this, but the second moto result will take over from the first. So if a guy goes 1-3 and 3-1, whoever wins the second moto would get the overall. So huge implications today.
Absolutely. Momentum in the series as well as the championship points. See if Webb can hold on for that overall win. Now, Cooper Webb, by the way, is riding with a broken bone in his wrist, a scaphoid, and it is healing each week. He's got a brace on, so he's not making it worse. But the amount of riding time he has lost between races and in the preseason, have to wonder in the second moto, how much does he have left?
That's a great point, Jason. I mean, I got to imagine with the lack of testing and just being on the bike, it definitely has to have an effect on him. When you watch him right now, he looks fantastic. And I'm hoping he can hold it up because we're almost halfway.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go, but at the same time, he's in a good position. He's got to strike, though. He's got to try to get 2 riders if he wants to steal that overall victory today. But right now, Jeremy Martin has it, but it ended like this. Here's your GoPro track preview. We'll show you from earlier today. On board with Alex Fry, the Troy Lee Designs Red Bull KTM. This is what it looked like in our first moto.
Yeah, and you can see how you can get gobbled up really quickly coming in the first turn, but he's on the inside. Good spot to be when everyone pushes wide. Just listen. I'm going to be quiet. Just watch and listen.
He's getting pelted with rocks, and he had a relatively good start. We're back trying to sort it out in the 250 class. Lucas Oil Pro Motocross from Glen Helen in San Bernardino, California. Halfway through this race, with 15 more minutes to go. And in 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more on your insurance by calling Geico. Try to sort this out. You're watching Cooper Webb on the number 17. He won the first race earlier today, but he is only in 5th place right now. So that would only make him the 3rd best rider where we combine both results. Second place, Austin Forkner in this race would be 2nd place overall for the day. And your moto leader right now, Jeremy Martin, would be 1st overall. So it's all on Cooper Webb's shoulders to try to make 2 passes. If he can do that, get a 1st and a 3rd, that would give him the overall win. We'll see if Webb can do it. Have to get his teammate Alex Martin. They've been going back and forth. Give you some updates on a few other riders. Webb occasionally has some heat from his teammate Aaron Plessinger here. You'll see him in the 23. About 2 laps ago, Plessinger was right there, but not able to make the pass, and now losing a little ground. Georgia Lindsay, what are you hearing on Plessinger?
Yes, I spoke to him earlier, and he had a pro ride day on Tuesday in Cheney Ranch, California. Unfortunately, he said he kind of endoed, made a mistake, had a crash. He had his shoulder taped up. He said it shouldn't really affect the race, but obviously all these guys have constantly got nagging small injuries. But for today, I guess he's just going to forget about it.
A big shakeup, Georgia, at the top of the hill. Austin Forkner, who was in 2nd, goes down. He just got passed by Nelson, Martin, Webb, and Plessinger, so that's going to shake it up big time. Webb picks up 1 spot, but that won't be enough to rip the overall away from Jeremy Martin. They would be tied on points. Martin is the 2nd moto tiebreaker. Tough break for the rookie Forkner.
That is, yeah, very tough. And, you know, when you look back, he probably fell in the most, simple, call it section. At the top of the hill, just probably tipped over. Very frustrating, but when you're pushing hard at this age and trying, those little things seem to happen. And then eventually, you put it all together. But I'm just really impressed with this kid's tenacity, his speed, his talent, and even his professionalism.
Well, he was only about 2 seconds behind your leader, so you can't blame him for pushing it and trying to go for it. He wanted to win this thing.
Yeah, no, he's been riding fantastic today. And sitting in 6th right now, even if it ended, I would still think for him this has got to be a groundbreaking or, great platform, to move forward in the next 10 rounds of outdoors. But don't look too far behind because Savachi is just lurking right there. So a round 1 winner, hoping maybe for a top 5 in moto number 2.
Yeah, trying to get things going here. Savachi is just behind Forkner. You'll see him in some of the longer shots on the 37. There he is, and he has the red number plate. Series points leader, dominated, won both races last week, but 9th in the first moto today. 7th right now. That shows just how stacked the competition is in this 250 class. Just a few starts, maybe feeling a little bit better one day or the other. Not a huge difference, but it makes a big impact in the results.
Starts, the depth, everything in this class, because look at this. I mean, Faulkner, youngster, Savachi probably doesn't even have a ton of experience being around a kid like him. And you're in 6th place, but you're also behind, 7th, but you're behind your teammate who's in 6th, who's basically a rookie. So Savachi, points leader. You know he wants to gain a few more spots, get some more points, and hopefully still leave today with the red plate, but it's not looking that great for him.
Down to the bottom of the hill we go. We'll see what lines that they take. Both using the outside. Oh, he stuffed it in that berm, did Savachi. Lost a little bit of ground there to Faulkner. Jeremy Martin continues to lead this one. Now it's a 10-second lead. Jesse Nelson, a solid run in 2nd. I send it down to Georgia.
Yes, we are in the very special VIP zone. Pro Motocross and Geico gave away 100 tickets to the active military and the veterans. Here they feel free to have drinks and food. But coming up after the break, we're going to show you more on how Geico Honda support the military.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have a lot of respect for those guys as well as everyone on the team and everyone here racing, you know. So it's cool to see the team reach out and do those things, and I'm more than happy to go and do things like that, you know. So it's pretty cool to see.
You know, Geico doing things at like San Diego Supercross. They brought in a bunch of kids, and you know, we got a lot of sponsors that back that as well, and we give out hats and jerseys, and you know, just show that we do appreciate it. And you know, an organization like Geico to actually step up. They could do many other things, but they're trying to give back to that, you know, the families and all that. So I think that's awesome.
My son Tyler Nally just joined the Navy a little over a year ago, and it's really been a good choice for him so far. He decided to be a submariner in the Navy, so he's in Groton, Connecticut right now. You know, we do military appreciation races, and just to see them, you know, they're proud of us as we are to work for a company like Geico that supports them as well.
I have a lot of respect for those guys, and as well as everyone else on the team and here at the track. So it's cool for Memorial Day weekend that they gave tickets away to some vets and stuff like that. That's awesome, and hopefully we'll give them a good show this weekend.
We got to support the guys that support us, so we're here, we're free, we're able to do what we want. We're here to put a show every weekend, and without them, we wouldn't be able to do it.
That is awesome what Geico has done. They got discounted tickets at a lot of these events for vets. Okay, so much of this race we were talking about the overall shifting between Jeremy Martin and Cooper Webb. But there's one other rider to think about. As Jesse Nelson is in 2nd, that is the pivotal position. Alex Martin now to 3rd after Austin Faulkner crashed. If Alex Martin can get Jesse Nelson for 2nd, he will have 2 second-place finishes on the day, and that will be enough to win the overall. Alex Martin has never won an overall, so this is huge, and he is closing on Nelson. Look at the countdown clock, top of the screen. 3 minutes before the 2 laps to go board comes out.
And don't think Alex Martin doesn't know this in his head. You see him launch up the hill. I mean, he looks like a man possessed. He wants to get this overall, and like we said earlier, Jason, you almost feel like at this point this guy kind of deserves it. He's worked so hard, one of the true gentlemen of the sport, and the older brother to a 2-time champion. It's got to be a little tough. So for Amart, you kind of just feel like, hey, this is his chance to get his time to shine.
Well, it is, and he knows it. He obviously must realize that how important this pass is. If he gets Nelson, this will give him the overall when we combine both races today. And by the way, I think he'd also be the points leader at the end of the day, too. So this is unbelievable. Look at Alex cutting across all those ruts, getting right up to the rear wheel. Face full of roots from Nelson. Does he have the pass?
He's on the outside. What do these lines do? Now he's on the inside. He's got it.
Alex Martin's going to take him wide. Nelson off the track. That was all right, man. That's just racing. Martin going for it, so this could be it. Alex Martin, with that pass, will have the overall if he can hang on to it.
Wow, that was a great pass. Like you said, Jason, aggressive but very clean. Did what any rider should do. Had the inside, took the line away. Jesse had to, you know, use a little more real estate, but no big deal. Banked off the fencing. But how about Alex Martin? This is cool to see.
Second. Oh, Alex!
Don't do that. Don't.
Oh, Nelson!
Are you kidding me? That section, we keep talking about it. How crazy can it get?
talk about this track that has 170-foot jumps on it and giant uphills and downhills. It's all coming down to this rhythm lane. And, well, coming down to these corners where Alex Martin executed the pass that could give him his first career overall win. And down is Tristan Charbonneau as we rejoin Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. What a rough day for Geico Honda. The rookie has crashed. He had a great run in the first moto earlier today, battling inside the top 10, but crashed out of this one. Jordan Smith, who was up front earlier, I think he just went a lap down. He is circulating.
It was either him or Hamshad. It was a Geico Honda that went a lap down. So, like you said, it's not a good day for the Geico Honda crew.
No, and we mentioned, of course, Christian Craig has a leg injury. We hope it's not that bad, but we fear it might be a broken leg for Craig. So Geico doing great things for our military veterans here on Memorial Day weekend, but unfortunately the riders, not the day they wanted. Great day for the Yamaluke Star Racing Yamaha team. They should be 1, 2, 3 overall today. Just the question will be the order.
Yeah. Who's going to be at the top?
Alex Martin should have it by 1 point. Webb and Jeremy Martin will tie for second. Jeremy Martin will have second by virtue of the tiebreaker. It is Jordan Smith who they're getting by right now. And Smith was up front early in this thing, but just came unraveled. He's shown some speed this year, there's no doubt about it. But Alex Martin, long time coming. He was a journeyman. Didn't enter the pro ranks with a factory ride or any of the hype or anything like that. Showed some speed, was top 10 in the series. Got a podium once with the old 1110 mods team. But had to kind of embark on rebuilding himself to get to the factory level. Now that he has the factory motorcycle under him, won a moto last year. This year trying to win an overall for the first time. There's Jesse Nelson in third. He's trying to rebuild himself after some crashes and injuries in Supercross. And would be happy, I'm sure, to take a third in this moto. That's a good way to get back. Hadn't raced since January until last week. Now, Cooper Webb had a shot at the overall today after winning the first moto. I don't know.
He has to. Well, he has to get Nelson, because a 1-3 always beats a 2-2. Just so people know, there's a
it's not over.
There's a 3-point gap from first to second. Then there's 2-point gap between second through fifth, and then 1 point there on out to 20th. So for Webb, a 1-3 still beats a 2-2. So he has a chance, and he can see Jesse Nelson, because it's about 5 seconds. It's going to be tough. It's a white flag, so probably right, Jason. Probably not going to be able to get it done. But one mistake through a section like this, and 2 seconds are gone, so who knows?
Well, as far as Webb is concerned, riding that wrist injury, not quite the same fire in Moto 2, so you have to wonder if the lack of riding time that he's had, maybe he wasn't quite as strong in the second Moto, which means the door is open for Alex Martin to take his first ever overall win. Hey, Nelson is actually sticking with him.
He might upset this too.
Yeah.
It could go multiple ways, but I think Cooper Webb is just too far back at this point. It would have to take for someone like Nelson or one of the Martin brothers to go down to change the outcome of the overall. But what great racing all the way to the end here.
Right. If Nelson were to pass Alex Martin, I believe that would put Jeremy Martin back into the overall. Forget it, just watch the racing. You just know that Jeremy's in the lead. Here's a battle for second between Alex and Jesse Nelson. Now, Alex was training with his brother a lot of this year with Johnny O'Mara, and honestly, so the training was so hard that he thinks he was just getting tired. Jeremy is freaking nature. He can handle all that and still be fresh for the races. Alex decided to switch it up, go training with Gareth Swanepoel, who trains the rest of the Star Racing team. Alex told me that he had never really done much weightlifting in his time. It was all cardio work and time on the bike. He's now started with the weight training. I think that's made a big difference. Looks good today.
Different things work for different riders.
Right.
I myself was always a stocky guy. I needed to do more cardio and less weight training, but everyone's got a different agenda, and it's nice to see him gelling and working well with Gareth Swanepoel, a guy that I grew up with, a friend of mine, and training at the Rockwell training facility. But these guys have really turned it up. This whole blue crew, as we now call them, because it really is a crew of guys in blue bikes. They have really stepped it up, and they've become almost the modern-day pro circuit race team. You know, we used to talk about, the Kawasaki and the Mean Green team. Now we're talking about a lot of blue up front.
Well, they're going to be 1, 2, 3 overall today. They're going to sweep the podium, but what will the order be? Jeremy Martin looking to win the second moto here at Glen Helen, and he does. So the champ is back on top. but a fourth in the first moto is going to cost him. It appears that Alex Martin has won his first ever Lucas Oil Pro Motocross overall.
And he's just figured it out. He did the math in his head. He knows he's won. How cool is that? Brother wins the moto.
Yeah.
You win the overall. What a great day for the team, for everyone involved, the whole Martin family.
He's asking about the overall.
Yeah, he goes, did I get it? Yeah.
Asking James Hansen from Rockstar Energy Drink. He's got his first ever overall. Unbelievable. And this guy's going to get congratulations from everybody. There's total respect for the work this guy has put in through the years to get to this level. There's Davey Coombs, MX Sports, shaking his hand. This is a motocross family through and through. They own and operate the Millville, Minnesota track that we'll be racing on later in the summer. Let's send it to Georgia and talk to our winner.
Alex Martin, this has to be such a great day for you. It is your first ever overall, taking first place, leaving Glen Helen. A lot has changed going into the 2016 season. What's been the biggest change for you?
Oh man, I'm so happy right now. This is just so surreal. You know, that was a great race. Both motos, I really haven't had two motos that have been that solid. But to answer your question, like I just made some big changes after we went on the West Coast break in Supercross, training wise, and I think it's really paying off. I'm so stoked right now. I've never felt this good before, and I just can't thank the whole Star Racing, Yamaha Lube, Yamaha team, and Rockstar. Everyone that's been behind me the whole time. You know, Supercross was a struggle, but it's so good to be back up on the top step right now.
I'll let you celebrate. Congratulations, Alex Martin.
Dreams really do come true if you work hard enough, man.
Pure emotion right there. How can you not be happy for him? Brings a tear to my eye.
Yeah, so much talk in this sport about the hot rookies and the amateurs coming to the ranks. This guy did it the old-fashioned way with grit, determination. He never gave up, and he's won. All right, we're back here at Glen Helen. Let's give you the Lucas Oil race recap of your 250 Moto number 2. Jeremy Martin on the number 1. Grabs the whole shot. Got Jesse Nelson at 13 in hot pursuit. Also right there is a 39 of Jordan Smith. Then things started getting crazy. Austin Forkner had climbed to second on the 214. Then he goes down. And the math as far as who's going to win today overall, combining the two races, starts to change. And Alex Martin on the 26 knows it. If he can pass Jesse Nelson for second, he will win the overall, and he goes for that pass.
He was committed. Comes up the inside. Nelson goes off the track. Just a good, hard racing move right there from Amart. But at the end of the day, a 2-2 good enough. His brother, the defending champ, wins the second moto, but not enough for the overall. Alex Martin goes second and second, but gets his first ever overall at AMA Pro Racing. Good job.
All right, and there is how close it was. It came down to 1 point. Alex edging his brother Jeremy. 1-2 in the overall for the brothers, and 1-2-3 for the team. Let's send it back to Georgia.
Yes, Jeremy Martin, congratulations. You were first place in that second moto. We know you've been sick, you've been struggling with your sinuses and everything, but you pulled out that moto win. But also, you've got to be happy for your brother getting his first ever overall.
Yeah, I know. I'm really proud of my brother. You know, he's watched me have a lot of success, so to see him so much success this year is just awesome. I know he had a rough Supercross season, so I saw him coming, and I'm like, dang, Big Al, slow down. So, you know, we didn't ride all week to try to get the cold out of my body, and, you know, I felt pretty good today. I unfortunately made a stupid mistake, and I thought Cooper was going to jump over that big one, and I landed on him, which, you know, I apologized to him after the race, but overall it was a pretty good day, and I just got to thank the man up above, my mom and dad, Chad Schweitzer, he's back home watching, Richard, my race mechanic, the whole Star Racing, Yamaha team, and just everyone that helps me. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jeremy Martin with the second moto win.
All right, so he's still working his way back, and how about this? Not only does Alex Martin win his first ever overall, he is now the points leader in the series.
I was just about to say, it's like a double whammy. He gets his first overall, takes the points lead. Cooper Webb, look at that, right up in there. Joey Savacci, we talked about having one of the biggest first-round leads, now third in the points. Let's send it back to Georgia.
4 points separator, top
yes,
four.
Cooper Webb with the third overall. Now, Cooper, looks like you're kind of a bit sore, but you really mustered through that day. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. You know, it was a good overall day, but I was pretty tired that last one. You know, just track's gnarly and it's hot, and that was definitely a man's track out there. So, but no, it's good to be back here on the podium. Get a win was nice, and to, you know, have two solid moto finishes, and you know, the Star Racing Yamaha Lube sweep is pretty cool. So it's an achievement for the team. They definitely work hard, so I'm stoked on that, and just looking forward to the rest of the season, battling with the Martin brothers, it looks like. So should be good, but I couldn't do it without the whole Star Racing Yamaha team. most importantly, the Lord Jesus Christ, my mom and dad, my mechanic Eric Gass, Alan, my trainer Gareth Swanepoel, Rockstar Energy, FMF. They put on a great national today. 100%, Thor, Toyota Escondido, and just all my sponsors. Thank you guys, and all you fans that's watching back home.
Congratulations. Yes, they did sweep the podium today in the overall. However, third place in that second moto, Mr. Jesse Nelson. Jesse, it was a tough track out there. The conditions were really hard. How did you attack those uphills and downhills and all the huge sand sections? I mean, it was crazy out there.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. The whole track was pretty tough, and I think for me, I just need to calm down and not make mistakes, not hit those big bumps, and try to hop them, get the drive up the hills. On the lights bike, I mean, if you mess up in the corner and you don't have the drive up the big hill here, you lose probably a second. So it's you just got to be smart with your riding and be clean.
Well, congratulations on third place in that second moto, Jesse Nelson.
Thank you.
That's what you've been saying the whole time. You got to get a drive out of those corners. All right, so it is Big Al on top of the 250 class. Who will go big in the 450s? We'll find out next.